Okay, I'm back and I'm at the end of my single row. Now, a lot of people who learn to crochet get really discouraged with the first row because it's not easy to work into the chain and keep it neat and even. It stretches and it just does whatever it wants to. But the more you do it, the more you'll learn and the better it will look. And eventually it will be fine. So don't give up, because once you've done that bottom row, it gets much easier from here. So I'm going to show you to turn around and work your second row. Now, like I said, one chain is equal to the same height as one single stitch. So we're going to do always do one chain, and then we turn around. Now you can see all the little holes that your stitches that you've made are forming. Now we're going to be working into those. We're going to go through both. We remember the chain, we only worked through one. Now we're going to see, we're going to work through both, not just one. So we're going to work into that little hole, pull through, hook and finish your stitch. Into the next hole, pull through and finish your stitch. In there, pull through and finish your stitch. See, and we're building a nice little row here. Now let's go all the way to the end of the row and see what it looks like. Oops. Now remember, in the very beginning when you started working your single row, down here, the very first row, not the second row that we're busy with now, I told you to work into the second stitch, okay? The reason for that was so that we now have a space to work in for the last stitch. If you started working right in the first stitch, you wouldn't have had the space and your work would have been completely uneven. Now we have that little space, we can work in there, and our work is even on the side. Now we have a nice little, it's going to end up being a little square. Now there's another important thing that I want to tell you about. Whether you're working with single stitches, double stitches, it doesn't matter. When you turn around, people forget. Let's get this focused, that this is actually a stitch. So they've skipped that one and they start working in there. Now you don't want to work in there because your work is going to go this way. Your work is going to slant this way and you're going to wonder why it's uneven. You always have to start here in the first one. Okay, like I said, people forget that it's a stitch, but it is a stitch and it counts. Now once you've made your little chain again, right into that first stitch. Okay, there you go. Now as you can see, this is staying even. You've got a straight side on this as well. The side is nice and straight because we keep working into that first stitch. So I'm going to finish this row and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you to do a double crochet.